So it looks like it's hit the fan for quite a few people today in the UK, a lot of, including our household and family. You know what I mean? We're talking about the cuts to social welfare as far as PIP goes and universal credit. Um, and there'll be quite a few other things as well, because we've also recently learned about all the issues coming in the future, near future, for pensions, and it's very difficult to find a single day where we're not having some kind of bad news or slap across the face of doom and gloom. Right, let's just take a breath. Take a breath and not lose our heads and think about this for a second. We knew this was coming. We've been saying it for a long time. Whichever idiots were in power, I won't say government because they're drunk on power. So whichever idiots were in power, we were going to have to face this kind of thing coming. We knew it was. Do not get me started on all the politics. Do not get me started on the two-faced double standards of saying they have to cut expenses. And I've said, yes, I recognize that social welfare is an expense. I have recognized that. I still do. And I understand that when things are tough, you've got to cut your expenses. But let's not get talking about all the other expenses that are not tackling the root issues as far as, let's see, certain paychecks of certain civil servants, so to speak, and where the charity does not start at home. And that's all I'm going to say about that. What I do want to focus on, there's enough of that going on. There's plenty of arguments. If you really want your fill of contention, this is not the place to come. Sorry about that. No, not sorry. This is the place to come when we're going to talk about solutions. We might not be able to change a lot of this stuff. They're not talking about, they want to cut slash benefits. Yeah, long term, that needs to be done. I agree with that. But at the same time, they cannot go doing that unless they actually have solutions in place to replace that for people. Somehow, people seem to think that if you're on benefits, you live in this life of Riley. And we can thank those wonderful TV programs and so-called documentaries. They're not, they're reality programs, focusing on the few people who do like to take the mick, who do milk the system, so to speak, who do thrive on getting whatever they can for nothing. There are those, and unfortunately, every single time the government are pushing for cuts to social welfare, suddenly all of these TV programs come on the television, vilifying and putting the least positive light on people who are on social welfare, so that the public, the general public who are not reliant on that, who do pay their taxes, and before you say anything, there are social welfare benefits that are taxed. I know, logic, it bends the mind, okay? So they're giving you money but taxing what they're giving you. It doesn't make any sense. None of it makes sense. But let's just focus on the fact that every single time there is an issue, before it gets dealt with, and to justify themselves so that the public, the working class, and let's face it, a lot of working people are having to rely on top-up benefits because their wages just don't cut it. They don't meet the basic needs. So let's drop the idea that all people on benefits don't work and that people on benefits are getting way more money than every other person does. And in some cases, in some people's work, yes, that's true, because their jobs are just so badly paid. And that's not because they're working, it's because their employers are just really dodgy. And because they are either working 1 hour over the threshold for being able to qualify for tax credits or something like that. So, it's all. Somebody who once commented on one of my last preparing for universal credit videos said that the whole system is rorted, whatever that means. You're damn right it is. Blimmin' right it is. And something needs to be done, but they're going about it totally back to front, upside out, upside down, inside out, and every which way that's except what's right. So, yeah, it's hit the fan for a lot of people earlier than we thought, and it's going to hit the fan for people not on benefits as well very soon. So, what are we doing about it? As I keep saying, focus on your self-reliance, your self-sufficiency, focus on what you can do. I mean, I'm just going to say, let the dust settle, okay? Give yourself at least 24 hours before you go gaga. Start assessing, doing your personal self-assessment. What do you have? What do you need? What is there that you can cut from your personal budget just to weather the storm? Do you have any reserves? If not, and let's face it, most people who are on benefits do not have any reserves because, number one, you don't have enough to put away. Some people do because if they can afford, this is just my personal opinion, if you can afford to spend money on cigarettes and beer and gambling and stuff like that, or if you can afford to do a number of things that most working people cannot afford to do, then yes, you can afford to save money. We don't do any of that stuff. We don't do the gambling. We don't do the smoking, the drinking and stuff like that. We don't even do holidays. We never have. Not because we don't want to, we just didn't have the money, and I don't believe on living on credit. I don't want to go into debt for something like that because it's not a necessity. So, well, I don't know. Some days I might think I will really need a break, but I don't need to go on holiday to have a break. Whew! I think I'm running off on a tangent here. What are we doing to solve our immediate situation? Okay, to stop you losing your mind, take stock. What is it you have? What do you still need? What can you cut that's not absolutely necessary? Yes, we don't want to be thinking about us absolutely cutting everything and we're going to be starving or we can't pay the bills or anything. Some things might have to go. Maybe you're streaming more than one type of platform service. You might have to cut them because they're not necessities. Keep only the necessities. For now, it's temporary. Consider your cuts and your penny pinching to be a temporary solution to an immediate problem so that it can be only an immediate and temporary problem. If you're going to sit there and whinge and whine and complain about it, and I blooming well would like to, but I've got to get on with it and do something. Here on this channel, I'm focusing on self-reliance, and on my other channel, Blue Garden Cottage, I focus on self-sufficiency. This one, we're focusing on our homemaking, our budgeting, our health, our well-being, things like that. That's what we're focusing on this channel. So for now, I want to know, what is it exactly on your mind? What is worrying you the most about the most recent news, about anything that's going on that threatens your mental well-being, your sanity, your financial situation? What are you worried about the most? What is the biggest fear you have right now? And let's address that. Let's talk about it. I would love to have a conversation about that. And yes, conversations are two ways. So you tell me what it is that's on your mind, and I'll tell you what's on my mind and see if we can figure something out together. Don't be shy to look back on a lot of my Blue Garden Cottage videos, because before I started this channel, I was putting the self-reliance stuff on there as well. I am going to be downloading and deleting those videos from that channel so I could focus that one specifically on garden, home production, storage and use, and on this channel all the self-reliance stuff. So I will be transferring those videos to this channel over time and editing them and making them appropriate for this channel and the topics. I'll see if I can do series so that there's a number of videos in the same topics or playlists. So maybe I'll just stick them in specific playlists and people can have a look at those. Yes, I do deal with what I've always done: frugal living, make, do, and mend. I'd say eco stuff, but not entirely, because I don't agree with going all out on the zero waste, all of the environmental stuff as a label, because that is sometimes impossible for people on a budget, on a very low wage, because it's still in the UK quite a niche thing. If you want to go zero waste, you're paying more than double the price what you would in a supermarket. And if you are penny pinching and now going to be penny pinching even more, you're going to have to sacrifice some of those ethics just to feed your kids, just to keep food on the table, to keep a roof over your head, to keep clothes on your back. Those are the most important basics, okay? Focus on those things first. We're going to have to say goodbye to a lot of things. We're going to have to say no to helping other people where we have to foot the costs. We're going to have to say no because we can't afford it, and we know they're not going to be able to afford it as well. So we're going to have to look at different ways of doing our shopping. Instead of using a car, if you have one and you need to say, maybe, do I need a car? Do I need this car? Can I get a more cost-effective car, a cheaper car to run, a cheaper car to buy, one less? You know, if you're going into debt to get a car, if it's something you need to get to work, it's essential. Or if you live out in the middle of nowhere, out in the mountains, and I know people who do, you cannot get anywhere without a car. You have to have a car. It's a necessity. So make sure it's one that you can afford. We've literally just had to change the contract on the vehicle. We have just had it this week. And we're looking at maybe we might have to send it back and go without a car. So we're not going to jump on, overboard at the minute and go all crazy. We're going to see what happens, what we get, what information we get. See when we get letters. I mean, how are they going to contact everybody? There are millions of people. So they are going to have to contact everybody. Are they going to do it alphabetically? I mean, all the things they're talking about doing is just crazy, absolutely crazy, so illogical, even worse than we've already been dealing with. But let's just tackle what we can. Recognize what you do have power to change, what you can change. Focus on what you do have and how you can make that last. If you have any specific questions, please ask them. Let's be helping each other out. Even in the comment section, if you see a comment from somebody asking for help, I don't know everything. I don't know everybody's situation. Okay, yes, I've had children, been in tough situations right the way through our lives, really. So I've had children. I've got grandchildren. We're now, slightly more senior, but not old. We're not pensioners yet, or in that age bracket, shall I say. So we don't know everything. We don't understand everything, but what we do have, we'll share. And your contribution to other people in the comment section might help them as well. And let's do so with compassion, without judgment, but sincerely trying to help and be a community. Maybe somebody hasn't thought, I might not have thought of something that you might mention in the comments, and I might be learning from you because there might be something I haven't even thought of. And I'd be very grateful for that. Yeah. As far as the business goes, I am still running the workshops. I'm having the third one this week. So far, I've only got two takers, two attendees. Others have dropped out, but those two people will get my full attention. They'll be getting, for a small price, they'll be getting almost practically one-to-one consultations rather than a workshop. And I'm going to give it to them. I'll give them my full attention and everything. I will just give them exactly what is needed to help them, because this week's workshop is planning your garden for self-sufficiency, which is so appropriate right now. The last one was turning your home and garden into your what is it again? That's ridiculous. I can't remember. I just did it. your self-sufficiency suburban garden, suburban self-sufficiency. Planning your suburban self-sufficiency. That's the one. There's the self-sufficiency, suburban self-sufficiency. This one is specifically on planning your garden for self-sufficiency. The next one will be the self-sufficient kitchen, as far as equipment, food storage. I think we're keeping it to equipment and how it's set up, what you need, and we will touch on food, not just food production, food preservation. We're just going to cover a few things because it's a workshop. It's not an actual course. That will come separately because I'm writing for each workshop. I'm writing a module book, ebook that goes with it. So the first module I have already put on my Shopify shop. If you can't get hold of it in Shopify, because I'm having trouble with Shopify, really, I'm regretting ever going with them. I might just upload my books to an online course provider because I need it to be accessible to people now. It's really important. So if I have it in modules rather than one big book, I can make it more affordable to people to buy as a module. I think I've put it up for somewhere around £5 for that module. The one for planning your garden, I think will have to be a little bit more because it's a bit bigger. There's a lot more in there, but it's a companion to the workshops. Other than that, yeah. So yeah, I'm not making money yet, but as I am speaking to you, I am working on the modules, turning them into a online course and accompanying videos to go with the sections of the modules for demonstration purposes, and then from that I will move that on to one-to-one and group coaching. So that's where we're going with that one. With the workshops, I will be adding a community group for anybody that attends the workshops. That will be might be a WhatsApp group. Yeah, I already put stuff on my Blue Garden Cottage Facebook page, and on the Blue Garden Cottage Facebook, I'll put everything, whether it's self-sufficiency or self-reliance, so it's just one place rather than even more multiple platforms. But the group, the WhatsApp group, will be specifically for people who join the workshops, and I am looking at putting those online as well because there'll be a lot of people. So if I do like Zoom workshops, they'll probably be shorter, so more condensed, because I think on the free one you only get an hour, and I'm not doing I'm not going to be paying paid subscriptions for these platforms until I'm actually earning any money. And I think now it's going to be even more difficult for people to afford those things. So I'm going to have to make sure that they're affordable for people to be able to do that. Yep, so that's what I'm doing. I'm still writing. I am working on the workshops and course creation. I haven't been doing the blogs lately. I need to get back to that because that also briefly gives, we cover topics on those, and I will put, obviously, in the description box, I put the links for both blogs, whether it's the self-sufficiency ones or the self-reliance ones for this that goes with this channel. I'll put those blogs in as well. I'll put the links for my first book and obviously for the Shopify as well. Although please let me know if you're having trouble because yeah, otherwise I will have to, we'll have to see what we could do with online course providers. That's all still over my head there, but we're getting there. And this is one thing that I'm thinking of as I'm upping my game on this stuff. I'm making it available to people more than just the UK. So I'll be able to make an income because I'm not relying just on people in the UK who are now going to be in serious financial difficulty. But that's especially when we need to be investing in finding solutions. If somebody else has got one, get it, whatever it may be. cutting jobs everywhere these days, and then they're cutting benefits saying we need to get you into jobs. What jobs? Please tell me what jobs. There we go. While we can, let's just figure out what we're doing now. No knee-jerk reactions. Just let the dust settle and focus on what you can do and what you do have power to change and control. And let's get back to that. I just want a quick thank you to all of those who have stuck with me on this channel. There's only a few of us so far, a small community, but there are a lot more viewers than there are subscribers. Analytics tell me quite a lot more viewers than subscribers. So if you are watching this channel and you haven't yet subscribed, I would so appreciate it if you did. But subscriptions are not the be all and end all. Your likes, shares, and comments count for way more. Your interaction is far more valuable, and I really appreciate your input. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. I don't check all day long for comments. I check once or twice a week because obviously I am super busy. I don't live on social media. I hope you don't either. I hope you're cracking on and doing stuff. Let me know what it is you're doing. Have you been affected by today's news? Are you going to be affected by today's news? If not, if you're not in the UK, but you're affected by something similar wherever you are, please tell me what it is. I would love to hear from you. Right, folks? You stay well, stay safe, stay sane, and let's get doing stuff. Speak to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.